everyone, welcome to Under One Umbrella Designs. My name is Lorraine and I'm the owner and operator. And today I am going to be working on 3 projects. These are old projects that I had in my stash that I started at one time and just lost interest in. This first one is a frame that I started. I put some castings on it, the olive crest mold from the olive crest mold by IOD. These are some frames or some canvases I picked up at the thrift store. They're neat, but they need an upcycle. And this is a dress form I had at my shop. I displayed necklaces and stuff on it, but I noticed that it has a crack or a little bit of damage to a part of it that I have to fix. And so I thought, I'm tired of it. I'm going to upcycle it, transform it, and give it a little bit more of a feminine look. Yeah, I found it at the thrift store, and it's all metal. And I did a paper mache overlay on it. Underneath of the paper mache is like it's all ribbed metal, and I didn't like that, so I put a paper mache over it. But now I'm going to transform it into something a little bit more feminine and sell it in my little booth that I have it in my shop. I have a little section in my shop that's all full of little upcycled things that I find and redo, and it's fun. Giving you a all around view of it. So now I'm going to start with project 1. So I pulled out an IOD mold conservatory, and I am using the little label there, the most ornate one on that mold. And I'm going to cast that little label and put it on the bottom side of the frame, make it into a landscape instead of a portrait like I had there. Now I've taken my Fusion all-in-one mineral paint, the color limestone, and I'm going all over it, all over the frame, all over the moldings, coloring it all in because I'm going to be doing a decoupage over it. Now, first I'm going to be doing a crackling 2-part system. Using the first part, I go and I just want to put the cracking on the corners of the frame, just kind of like coming out of the castings that I put on there. So after I got the first of the cracking paste applied, I just went in slightly to dry it, just because I want to do the decoupage paper and I don't want it to get messed around or moved. So I just slightly dried it up. So now I'm going in with the decoupage paper and just fitting it down, placing it. It fit pretty good in the frame width wise, but it's just a little long. So I'm going to be cutting a little bit at the top because I want to just take out that kind of dead space where there's no printing on it. So I don't have to cut the bottom of the bunny off so much. And when I'm cutting this, I make sure I have a very, very sharp box cutter knife when I'm doing that. I want a nice clean cut. So now I'm going in and putting down the decoupage. I'm using Fusion Decoupage transfer gel. It's a really thick gel. I find it really nice to be using on this. It's kind of a fibrous decoupage paper, so it needs a heavier. I find liquid patina by DIY doesn't work for me, so I like a heavier, um, transfer gel or decoupage medium for this type of, paper. It's really hard to get those wrinkles out, so you really have to work at it. It's a good paper to use if you're a beginner because it's, hard to, tear, but if you work it a little bit too much, you can get the fibers to start peeling, kind of, beating up. So you can't work it that hard, but you can work it enough to get those creases out. Like I said, it's hard to put down. I even tried some like putting water on it to stretch it out and to see if I could get those creases out, and it didn't seem to help. The next time I'm going to be trying the iron on method, and hopefully that's where you take an iron and you go over it when your decoupage medium is all dry. You just take an iron and a parchment paper or a Teflon paper, and then kind of go over the decoupage paper with that, and hopefully it'll flatten it out, and I won't have to use so much of the medium. So project number 2. These are those thrift frames that I found, and I had something glued to the middle of them, or I can't remember what it was. It was some I can't remember what I had glued there, but I ripped them off, sanded it all down, and now I'm going in with my limestone again, limestone paint, and brightening it up because I want to put a decoupage paper down on there. And I'm doing 2 of them. These are pretty basic, easy thrift flips, but um, they're impactful. The paper's beautiful. This is another fibrous paper by Redesign with Prima, and it is called Wheels of Time. And I believe I still have some of them on my website in stock as well. And I'm just working that down, spreading it out. And then I'm going around, I don't want a real harsh cut, so I just tore the paper. It's not really easy to tear, but I did it. Like you can tear it, but a lot mo- a lot tougher than just the tissue paper or like a napkin. That's like you can see, it's very fibrous. And then I just took the decoupage medium and went underneath and then over top wherever I needed to. Oh, yes, on that bunny, the first project, I forgot to uh, film me putting the antiquing glaze on it, so you won't see the finished product till the very end, and I'm so sorry about that. And this is the next one, and what's really cool about this decoupage paper is it's reversible. So I wanted the orientation of that truck to be facing the other way from the other truck, so I could just flip the whole paper around. So I just did the same thing, decoupaged it right down with that fusion mineral or fusion decoupage gel. And so this is the last project, project 3, and it's just a basic decoupage, but with this one, I'm showing you that how to put it on rounded surfaces. And it is a little bit of a struggle, but what I did here was I just kind of went with I felt where there was resistance in the paper and just did slight tears and molding it right to the form using my decoupage paper underneath and then a little bit over top. and just folding it and tearing it right onto the form, and it just kind of went down. Where I felt any little bit of resistance, I would do a slight tear just to give relief to it, overlapping if need be. And this project was really forgiving because the underneath paper mache was kind of rippled and wrinkled and it wasn't smooth. So I didn't want this one to be perfect. I kind of didn't worry too much about the image on the paper, but I kept it as best as I could without distorting it too much. This paper is called Floral Ephemera by Roy Cycled. I don't have any of that in stock, but I do have lots of Roy Cycled paper. I mean, this is just an inspiration. You could put anything you wanted on it. If you have one of these forms at home and you want to redo it, you can do anything. I do have Queen Bee in stock, and it's similar to this. And you can see here I take and I kind of smooth off those harsh lines just so it blends with all the rest of the paper that I put on it. And again, this one was really tough to film and get into the frame because it's such a big object. I'm just working all around. This was a relaxing project. I wasn't so worried about wrinkles, and I just kind of went with the flow with this one. Yeah, like I said, anywhere I felt resistance, or I would just tear it and let it go down wherever it wanted. And then whatever little pieces I had from the bottom, I laid that onto the top of, or the back of it. And then I'm just folding underneath the remainder and rolling it under. And there was some parts that I didn't have enough paper, so I went into my stash and got some scraps of other papers that were pretty on the same color palette, like soft, warm cream colors, and I just filled it in. And I even put a couple transfers in the same colors in there just to fill out some of the pieces that were missing, and it went on really well. I'll have pictures of all of the finished projects at the end of the video. And I also went around and painted the bottom, and it was already painted, but I just freshened it up and I went over it again, and I did a little bit of a rust effect on the bottom. You know what I used for the rust effect was just some spices, cinnamon and cardamom. Or not cardamom, it was, yeah, I think it was cardamom, and just kind of put that into wet paint and then went over it with a Rust-Oleum flat matte spray paint. It worked out really good. It took me like a couple minutes. I didn't go crazy with it. I just put a little bit just to give it a little bit of a rusty effect on the bottom and on that knob on the handle of this dress form. I'm just placing in pieces. And that piece that I'm doing up the back was left over on the from the bottom of that sheet. And I'm just putting it on top of the back. So coming up next is the 3 projects that are finished. And I just want to go over with the bunny picture. I I forgot to film it, but I did the antiquing gel all around the frame and I just brushed it on. It's a fusion antiquing gel, and brushed it on and then just went with a damp cloth and wiped it back. And the truck prints, and then the dress form. They all turned out really nice. I really like them. So if you need any paint or products, you can visit me at my website, www.underoneumbrella.ca. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.